It's funny when you think about luxury goods,
Right.
you'd assume that demand for those high-end items would,
Stay pretty stable.
yeah, stay pretty stable.
Yeah.
But it turns out that's not really the case.
No, not at all.
We're actually seeing a real slowdown in the personal luxury market.
It's
And
really interesting.
what's even more interesting is that some brands are actually raising prices
Yeah.
instead of like,
Instead of trying to, entice buyers
exactly.
with
It
deals.
feels kind of counterintuitive.
It does. And I think what it really shows you is just how much pressure these brands are facing.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the global situation,
Right.
there's a ton of uncertainty
Yeah.
in the big economies like China,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of elections happening around the world.
So many.
So many. It's just creating like a cautious consumer.
Yeah.
And especially, what I've been seeing is younger buyers are
Really rethinking.
really rethinking their spending.
Yeah.
They're prioritizing their needs over, those luxury items.
Essentials over the aspirational.
Exactly. And, you have to wonder if that's changing what a status symbol even means to them.
Totally. And the data really backs all of this up.
Yeah.
Bain & Company,
Yeah.
they're projecting a 2% drop
Mhm.
in personal luxury sales this year.
Wow.
That means the total amount spent on all these high-end items
It's going down.
is actually going down,
That's big.
which is a huge shift.
It is.
And, we haven't seen a downturn like this since the 08-09 financial crisis.
Right.
If you, take the pandemic out of the equation.
Yeah, that was a whole other.
Whole other thing.
Yeah.
What's really standing out to me is China.
Oh, yeah.
Sales there have plummeted
It's dramatic.
20 to 22%,
Yeah.
which is a massive change, especially when you think about how much
How much the luxury market has depended on Chinese consumers.
for the last decade.
Exactly.
I mean, it's been the engine of growth for so long.
Yeah, China has been such a powerful force in this world. And to see those sales drop that much, it just really shows you that this assumption...
Of never-ending growth is just not there.
It's not realistic anymore.
But here's where things get interesting.
I like interesting.
In the middle of this whole slowdown,
Okay.
there's one brand that's totally bucking the trend.
Oh, really? Who?
Prada.
Prada, interesting.
4 straight years of double-digit growth,
Wow, that's impressive.
which is like the opposite of what everyone else is doing.
Totally.
And to make things even more intriguing,
More interesting.
they're apparently thinking about a major acquisition.
Acquisition, I like it.
Versace.
Why?
Wow, Prada buying Versace.
It's kind of a big deal.
That would be huge.
Especially when you consider how Versace has been doing recently.
Right.
They haven't exactly been a star performer under Capri Holdings.
No, they haven't.
Which is the group that also owns Michael Kors and Jimmy Choo.
Right.
And Capri itself is having some financial issues.
Interesting.
And what's really interesting is that Prada is also rumored to be looking at Jimmy Choo. Oh, so maybe they're looking at a bigger picture, like a whole portfolio play.
Exactly. It's like they're saying, well, if we're already looking at one.
Right. Might as well see what else is out there.
Exactly.
That's smart.
And Miuccia Prada herself,
The legend.
when she was asked about the Versace rumors,
What'd she say?
she gave this very understated reply.
Classic Miuccia Prada.
She just said, I think it's on everybody's table.
Wow.
You could just imagine her saying it with this,
A quiet power.
yeah, this quiet confidence.
Well, love it.
Meanwhile, Prada's CEO, Andrea Guerra,
Okay.
he's been spotted in New York meeting with Capri Holdings,
That's fueling the rumors for sure.
which is really fanning the flames.
Yeah,
This whole thing could be a game changer.
it could.
Maybe even set the stage for Italy to finally have a real competitor to those French luxury giants.
To LVMH and Kering.
Exactly.
That would be something to see.
It would shake things up for sure.
Yeah, it really would.
So let's talk about Versace for a second. You mentioned their history as this symbol of bold,
Oh, yeah. Gold dripping Italian glamour.
over the top.
The best kind.
But things haven't been so glamorous lately.
What happened?
What do you think went wrong after Capri Holdings bought them back in 2018?
They paid a lot for them, too. Something like 1.83 billion euros?
Yeah, it was a big deal.
A lot of money.
And it seems like they just haven't been able to recapture that magic under Capri's management.
It's tough.
The numbers tell this story.
Yeah, lay it on me.
Last quarter of 2024, Versace's revenue dropped by 15%,
15% ouch.
and their operating losses,
Meaning they spent more than they earned.
exactly, ballooned to $21 million.
That's not good.
And the forecast for 2025 isn't looking much better.
Oh, no.
Sales are expected to decline even further to about $810 million.
Wow.
They're hoping to break even the following year.
Okay.
But as you said before,
Right.
in this current climate,
It's a tough climate.
it's a pretty big challenge.
It is.
It's a big fall from grace
Yes.
for a brand with such a legacy.
Yeah, I mean, you think Versace, you think iconic.
Right.
And to see them struggling like this, it makes you wonder about the staying power of these big names.
For sure. And it leads to a really interesting point.
Oh, what's that?
The rumored acquisition price.
Okay, how much are we talking?
We're hearing that Prada might be able to get Versace for around 1.5 billion euros.
Okay.
Now, that's significantly less than what Capri paid for it just a few years ago.
A big discount.
A huge discount.
Wow.
You don't see a luxury brand being sold at a markdown very often.
Right.
It really underlines the difficulties Versace has been facing.
Yeah, and it makes you think about the health of some of these heritage brands.
Mm-hmm.
Are they as strong as we think they are?
It's like a distressed asset situation, but in the world of high fashion.
Right.
And then on top of all of that, you have Donatella Versace stepping down as the creative head.
Oh, wow. The end of an era.
She's been so closely tied to that brand for so long.
Ever since she took over after her brother Gianni was killed in 1997.
Over 2 decades.
It's hard to imagine Versace without her.
It's a big change.
It is.
And they've appointed Dario Vitale as the new chief creative officer.
Okay, I've heard that name before.
He comes from Prada's own Miu Miu.
Oh, interesting. So Prada's influence is already being felt.
Exactly. And he starts in April.
Big shoes to fill.
Absolutely.
So with all of this going on, it makes you wonder, why would Prada even want Versace?
Yeah.
I mean, Prada is known for this minimalist,
Intellectual.
yeah, that quiet luxury vibe.
Yeah.
And Versace is all about,
Boldness.
yeah, and gold and, being seen.
They seem like totally different brands.
They do on the surface.
So what's the strategy here?
Well, one argument is that in this industry, size matters.
Okay.
And even though Prada is a big brand,
Right.
they're still way smaller than LVMH and Kering.
Those are the giants.
Exactly. So buying Versace would instantly make Prada a much bigger player
Mm-hmm.
and give them access to a whole new customer base. So they'd be appealing to both those who love that quiet luxury and those who want something more,
Flashy.
yeah, flashy and attention grabbing.
So it's about broadening their reach
Exactly.
and having something for everyone.
And ultimately that could benefit consumers because it gives them more choices,
Right.
more variety.
More diversity.
Exactly.
But there are definitely some downsides too, right?
Oh, yeah. Buying another company and making it work.
It's not that easy.
No, it's not just plug and play.
It's complicated.
It's really complicated.
What are some of the challenges?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is about how do you integrate two different brand cultures
Right.
and their operations.
Yeah, they've been doing things their own way for so long.
Exactly. And reviving a brand like Versace.
It's going to take a lot of work.
A lot of investment,
I would
money and expertise
Yeah.
and management attention.
Mm-hmm.
And you might even have to accept some setbacks in the short term.
Right.
It's not going to be easy.
No, it's a big undertaking.
It is.
And then there's Versace's own history to consider.
Right.
Their management hasn't always been the best.
Yeah.
And they've had this tendency to discount heavily.
Which is a problem for a luxury brand
It is.
because it erodes that sense of exclusivity.
Exactly.
And it can even confuse consumers about what the brand really stands for.
Right. It's like, what are you even selling anymore?
Exactly. So Prada would need to address that if they took over.
You'd have to like reset the brand.
A total reset, yeah.
But on the plus side,
Okay, I like plus sides.
Prada has some real strengths that could help turn Versace around.
Okay, like what?
They've got a great track record in production,
Yeah.
marketing,
Mm.
and retail operations.
Which are all areas where Capri has struggled.
Exactly.
So Prada could bring some much-needed expertise.
For sure.
And let's not forget Prada's strength in leather goods.
Oh, yeah, their bags are iconic.
And that's an area where Versace's handbags haven't been doing so well.
Right.
So there's definitely potential there for improvement.
So it all comes down to commitment.
To whether Prada is really in it for the long haul,
Exactly.
are they willing to invest the time
The energy
and the
s-
money
yeah,
to make Versace a true competitor?
against the giants.
Like LVMH?
It's not going to be a quick fix
No, it's a multi-year project.
with no guarantees of success.
That's the risky part.
It is.
But, one way to look at it is that this could be a way for Prada to diversify and make their business less vulnerable to economic ups and downs.
By having brands that appeal to different types of customers.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
But then you have the whole issue of Versace's image.
Which has been tarnished by all the discounting.
Right. They've got to rebuild that sense of aspiration.
That feeling of luxury.
Yeah, that makes people want to buy it.
And that's not easy.
No, it's not.
But on the other hand,
Okay.
maybe Versace hasn't reached its full potential under Capri,
That's possible.
and Prada has the experience
They do.
and the know-how to revitalize it.
It's a gamble for sure.
It's it.
It is. High risk, high reward.
So let's recap.
Let's do it.
We've got a luxury market that's facing some unexpected challenges.
Yeah, a slowdown that nobody saw coming.
And even the big names are feeling it.
Even the giants.
Prada is one of the few brands that's still growing strong.
They're doing really well.
And now they're thinking about buying Versace.
A bold move.
A potentially iconic but struggling brand.
Yeah.
And they might get it for a bargain.
That's the crazy part.
They want to get bigger.
Reach more customers.
But there are definitely risks involved.
Lots of them.
Especially when it comes to fixing Versace's image.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work to do.
And making their operations more efficient.
It's a big project.
So the big question is
Prada up for the challenge?
do they have what it takes to not just buy Versace,
But to transform it.
into a real competitor?
Yeah.
Can they make it stand up to LVMH and Kering?
Those are the heavyweights.
What do you think?
I think it's going to be fascinating to watch.
It's a really interesting situation.
It is.
And no matter what happens,
Yeah.
it shows you how much the luxury industry is changing.
It's constantly evolving.
And this deal could have a huge impact.
On the whole industry.
It really makes you think about the future of these iconic brands.
Yeah. Where are they headed?
And the forces that are shaping the world of luxury.
It's a whole new world.
It is.
I love it.
Me too.
It's exciting.
It is.